Hey fellow backyard warriors, Nick here. So everybody likes this bow, and I've gotten tons of responses to it. You know, it's really handy. This is the first bow I've made that I can actually pack down and put in the backpack. I actually done that the last couple of days, just carry it around. But that aside, it's not the perfect design. You can see when you bring it all down, these recurves really make it hard to pack in anything really small. You know, and all the pieces together, it's about 14 inches. So while it's small enough to put in a backpack, it's not that small. I mean, our takedown arrow, each piece comes out to only 10 inches. So I thought there has to be a way to make an even smaller bow. So what we're going to try today, and I haven't tried it yet, I figure I'll just do it with you guys and see if it works, is I'm going to attempt to make a smaller takedown bow. Except where the other bow, this bow here, is 4 pieces, this next bow will be 6 pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a 3/4 inch Schedule 40 PVC pipe. You cut it to 44 inches long. The reason why I'm cutting it down to 44 inches is I'm not going to put any reflex or any recurves in it. It's going to be, you could say, a long bow, I guess a short bow. It's just going to be a non-reflex, non-recurve bow. I'm dropping it down to 44 inches because what I found is that when you shorten the PVC pipe by using reflexes and recurves and by deflexing it, you actually are bringing up the weight just because the pipe's getting shorter. So this is the same length as 40-pound PVC pipe bows that I've made using 3/4 inch pipe. So ideally this should get us a 40 to 50-pound bow. Now what you need to do is you need to measure the center here and then 2 inches out from the center. This is going to be your handle section, but also this is going to be your first cut. You want to measure 7 inches out from that, and that's going to be your next cut. 7 inches out from that is going to be your next cut. And then the tips, both tips are 8 inches. So you've got 8 inches, 7 inches, 7 inches, 7 inches, 7 inches, and 8 inches. So basically, 4 of our pieces are going to be 7 inches long, and the 2 tips are going to be 8 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just flatten this using my flattening jig with a 3/4 inch spacer, and then we're going to work on the handle, put knocks on this, get this bow shooting, and then we're going to try and make it into a takedown. And for the takedown section, you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 sleeves out of 1 inch pipe, 4 inches long each. So let's get started. I'm going to show you what the flattened bow looks like. Here's the bow. And you've got the nice flattened taper on it. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to squish the handle just like I do in my youth bow video. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. If you want to see how it's done, you can just go to the flattened PVC youth bow video. Same thing, actually pretty much everything on this except for the overall size is identical. So I'm just going to flatten this handle, smush this handle, and then we're going to go put knocks on this, and we're going to string it up and shoot it. Here's the finished handle, so that it's got a nice grip to it. Next thing you want to do is you want to measure down 3/4 of an inch from the end, and then measure in 1/2 inch from either side. You just want to take a 1/8 inch rat tail file or a chainsaw sharpening file or a tile saw and actually cut in So this is what your knock's going to look like. You want to cut in, and then afterward you can, I just kind of rounded this off in a sort of arrowhead shape, but you could do whatever you liked here. So here it is. So I'm going to finish this side off, and we're going to string this up, and then we're going to shoot it. Alright, so here's our little bow strung up. You can see this side's bending a little bit more, so this is just going to be the upper limb. So you can see this bow already is really short. I mean, I put it down, you can't even see it. Well, maybe you can. Now you can't see it. Anyway, let me shoot it for you guys. Feels pretty good. So, now that it shoots, and I weighed this, it's 50 pounds and 28 inches. So, now what we got to do is follow the lines, cut this bow apart, and hope that this works. Alright, let's do that. Alright, so we're going to be cutting this bow apart now. So as you can see, I labeled my pieces A, B, C, D, E, and F. So I'm just going to cut each piece apart. Hopefully when we put this together with the connectors, it'll stay together. So let's go ahead and cut it apart. Okay, so here we have all our pieces. You can see they come apart pretty small. Hopefully it works. So now what I'm going to do is, for say this connection, if you can see, D is going to be the bottom handle. It's going to be the one that has the connection in it. So I'm just going to slightly round this off just to get the burrs off. But on this side, where it's actually going to go into the connector, and this is the part that's going to come out, I'm going to actually completely bevel the edge here. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. Okay, so here are all the pieces. So you can see here's A, and all I did was I just sanded this off flat, because this is going to be getting a connector attached to it permanently. Now B is rounded off on this side because it's going to have to go into the connector and come out of it. This side is flat because that's going to be a permanent connection. Now C is rounded on both sides because it's going to be coming out of B and be coming out of D. D is flat on this side because it's a permanent connection, and it's rounded here because this is where it's going to disconnect. E is flat on this side because it's a permanent connection, and it's rounded on this side because that's the side that's going in and out. And then F is flat on this side because that's a permanent connection. Now you need 5 1-inch. You need 5 1-inch Schedule 40 pipes, cut 4 inches long. And what you want to do is you want to round off both ends on the outside so that it'll blend smoothly and won't catch on anything. And then you want to go and you want to bevel the inside slightly so that it will slide over your pieces better. So now I'm going to show you how to heat up and connect 2 pieces, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to heat up my connectors and connect the whole bow back together, and then we'll see if it works. Okay, so I already connected A and B, and you can see this is what the connection looks like. What we're going to do is, since this is a flat connection, this is going to get glued. So what you do is you're going to turn on my heat gun. I've got hot melt glue here. And so we're not using it so much because we need a really good adhesive, just so that we need something to kind of tack it together. So hot melt glue is just fine, and this is all-purpose hot melt glue. Right. So once you've applied hot melt glue to this side, what you want to do is you want to take one of your connectors and you want to heat it up. So I'm going to hold it with this and just heat it up. And we're going to heat it until it's completely pliable, so we can slide it over the piece that needs to be connected. Alright, so once you've heated to the halfway point, you want to give it a final heat. Then you want to heat up the hot melt glue just to the point where it'll melt. And then you want to slide the connector over. And you want to drive the connector down till it's about halfway in. And then you just want to go ahead and press it down so that it's a nice, good connection. Now that you've got that connection, you want to go ahead and you want to heat up the second half of the connector. It's almost done. Okay. So now you take C and you go ahead and you drive them together. Now you just want to go ahead and you want to make sure that they're connected, and you just want to press the connector down, and you want to sight down the bow and make sure that it lines up. So as you can see, everything lines up so far. So you just make sure that you're holding this connection so that it holds together well. And then once this cools off, you'll be able to slide C out, just like, if you can see, these two, how they just come apart. Now, one thing you're going to need to do is, once you've got this connection and you've moved it out, in and out a couple times, what you can do is put petroleum jelly or another lubricant. You don't want it to be too slick, however, or it may easily pull apart when we string this up, because this bow is going to be under a lot of stress. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to connect the rest of the bow. First I'm going to do the other limb, and then I'm going to connect the handles together. So I'm going to do that and I'll show you what that looks like.